Hi, friends, and welcome to episode 27 of the In Between podcast with Paige Allen. I am so excited to introduce you to my friend, Callie Boyd, today. She's someone that I have always looked up to as I've known her since I was a really young girl, and I so enjoyed our conversation today. We talk about raising kids, as well as what do you do in the midst of big transitions in life. Callie is someone who has bundles and bundles of wisdom, and yet she's also just really down to earth. And she lives what she's saying. So you are going to love this episode, and you are going to love Callie. All right, here we go. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited. I am welcoming my friend Callie Boyd to the podcast today. Hi, Callie. Hi. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for having me. I know. You guys are going to love Callie today. I'm going to ask her about all kinds of things, but we are going to start with how I always start, which is into it and over it. So Callie, what are you into right now?
Actually, you probably wouldn't believe this by looking at me, but I'm really into trying to be healthy in my eating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can tell by looking at you.
I've lost a couple of inches, so we're excited.
So what does that mean for you?
Well, what happened is at the beginning of last year, my son-in-law and I decided that we would take this next year to really concentrate on some things that the Lord had convicted us of that have never really overcome. Mm-hmm. And mine was eating healthy and being mindful of exercise while pressures of life comes. Mm. And so this whole year we've been trying to do that, but not until recently. I came in a position where my hips and my legs were in a lot of pain. I started walking like an 80-year-old person and having a lot of pain. And so I went to, I just prayed and asked the Lord, and I found a book called Anti-Inflammatory Diet. So I've actually did that for 3 weeks and feeling good and eating more healthy and being a lot more aware of what I'm doing. And I would encourage everybody to do that before you're 56. That's a good idea. Yeah. And so
that's good.
I'm happy. I'm feeling good.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. Well, I was trying to think what I'm into. Callie and I were just talking about this because I do this every week. It's sometimes hard to think of what else can I be into. But you know what my family is into right now? We are really into board games.
Oh, yeah.
And my girls are finally getting to age where they're old enough to to do it. And so this week, I introduced Selah to Battleship, and she loves it.
Yes, it was one of my favorites.
Was it? Yeah.
And my son's.
Yeah.
So
So there's something about just sinking a ship, and she really likes math. Not that it's a math game, but with all the numbers of J9.
Strategy.
Yes. So I am into board games. I'm hoping with summer coming up and kids being home that they won't be tired of them after a week. But I guess we'll see.
My kids love Sequence.
Oh,
it was fun.
That's good. Yeah.
Your kids could probably do that.
They can maybe do that. Yeah. What about over it? Are you over anything?
I am over something, and I actually had a talk with my older daughter last night, and we both agreed. But I have found myself several times, I fall into this category, and I'm so over this in myself, is we become very busy, but then we brag to other people about being busy in the hopes that they will pity us or something. And then if they're busy, then there becomes this competition of, oh, I'm so busy too. I'm just blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, well, you can't believe how busy I am. And this goes on. And so it's almost like we take pride in our busyness. And I have decided that is not cool. That's not cool. And so I've just decided I'm so over taking pride in my business. I'm in control of my schedule. So if it's too busy, my bad. It's my life. Right. And God gave me my life to control. And so if it's too busy, my bad.
Yeah. Then it's your
don't whine.
Right.
Don't whine about it.
I read this quote one time, and I don't know why. Quotes really don't stick with me all that often, and I'm not going to say the quote right, but it was by Eugene Peterson, who wrote the Message Bible. And he said that busyness has one of two roots. One is a root of vanity and pride. Sometimes busyness is because, almost like you said, we want to feel
effective.
Yeah. Or look at how busy we are.
or how did you word it? Or it is the root of allowing other people to dictate your life and not ever saying no. Yeah, because like you said, you are in control of your schedule. Yeah. Sometimes we don't think we are, and so everyone that asks us to do something, we say yes, but you can say no.
Yeah. Like if my house is in chaos, it's my personal responsibility, not everybody else.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a good one.
So that's my over it.
That is your over it. That's a really good one. Mine is not spiritual at all. And I'm concerned about this because we already have mosquitoes in our backyard. And it's not even fully the summer yet. So I went outside the other night and I was like, I'm already over you guys. So just leave. And then we went and bought some spray. So hopefully they'll be over my backyard and they'll leave. So
yeah, it's one of those things. I know there's a purpose for mosquitoes, but that will be one of my questions.
Yeah, when we see the Lord, like, why did you create all of these crazy animals? So yeah. Okay, well, Callie, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your family, just whatever you want to tell us about yourself, so people get a little taste of who you are.
Okay, my husband and I, we are the head of an organization. It's called Prepare International, and it's basically a discipleship movement, I guess you would call that, across many nations. We're in 20 different nations, and so we travel a lot. Yeah, and we work with indigenous people, and it's really been a world-changing, eye-opening thing for me. I get more of a world view. I never dreamed of doing this. Mexico is a huge stretch for me, so yeah, we're going everywhere, and we've been doing that for about 15 years. We have a son who is a pastor, Beltway Abilene. He's mission pastor. His wife, Brandy, is a physical therapist. We have our second child is a daughter, Bethany, and her husband live in the valley, down towards McAllen, Edinburgh area, close to the beach. They're beach bums. And they are, she's a personal trainer, and he's a real estate agent. He loves Josh, your husband. Yes. He said, I just wish Josh could mentor me. So they are down there, and they also are pastors of young adults in the church. And then I have my baby, Randy, my baby. She is a graduate from DBU this year, just Friday. She graduated, and she is going to be a teacher, hopefully in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She graduated summa cum laude.
Yay, that's impressive.
It is. And she really is good. Her whole goal for teaching is she thinks it's one of the best occupations you can have, even though some people will tell her, you're just going to be a teacher, because she is pretty smart. And they'll say, you're just going to be a teacher. And she just gets infuriated. She's like, are you kidding? It's the best thing you could be. You're impacting the next generation. So,
that's so good.
Yeah, that's where we are.
That's great. Well, I have to tell you guys, I love Callie. She and her husband, they have impacted my life and my husband's life over the years in so many ways. What I love about you guys is you dream big and you go big, and you say yes. That's what I love about y'all. Y'all say yes to God, whatever he asks you to do. And I also love Callie because the last 2 years, or not 2 years, last several years, she has impacted my girls. She has taught at our local Kids Day Out, and the 3-year-olds, but then for all the kids there, she has developed this curriculum called Playground. So tell everybody about Playground a little bit. What's the thought behind that?
The initial concept in me, I think it was just something the Lord started doing in me even before I was married. I was a pastor of children at a large church, and I started seeing the kids, and a lot of the kids didn't like church. And so just something started stirring in me. I thought, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be. And then I read a book, a friend of mine and myself, we read a book. It was by Esther Onitzky, and it was called Playground. And so we read that, and we took the term playground, and we do have permission to do that. And we took the term playground, and we kind of developed some more. But it's basically teaching kids to pray, listen to the Lord, pray, and change the world with their prayers, and that they're effective. they're effective now in the kingdom, and they don't have to wait till they're 22, even 17, which for them that's really old. But I would be honest, I would rather pray for 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds than any other age bracket.
Yeah. I feel like you have kind of helped me to, I think sometimes we just discount kids and their ability to hear the Lord. And I can't tell you how many times my girls have come home and said even just the simplest things that are so profound. And I know it's because they're getting instilled inside of them, like, you can hear God. He's listening to your prayers. Like, it really makes a difference, you know?
Yeah.
I just love it. I was thinking the other day, one of my favorite stories is about Selah. And really, I attribute a lot of this to you. She started praying, or one night I went and we were doing prayers, and she started asking about why had she not been a flower girl? Because all of her cousins had been flower girls. And out of my mouth, I said, well, maybe you should pray about it. And I had to be honest. Like, when I said that, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm setting her up for disappointment in God.
How am I going to help her little heart?
Exactly, because there's a lot of things I can say, well, you should pray for, and I can then provide that. But I can't make someone ask my kid to be their flower girl, Yeah. And she prayed the sweetest prayer. It was like, dear Lord, I just thank you that I'm going to be a flower girl. I want you to know I'm going to be pretty. She said, I'm going to be pretty, and I'm going to throw the flowers well. And and she just prayed like exactly like how you've taught them to pray. And I remember going out after I put her in bed, Josh and I was like, I think I just set her up for like disappointment. God, like, what did I do? And then this is the crazy thing, is literally 3 days later, someone came to me that night. They had a dream, and Selah was their flower girl in their dream. They didn't know Selah. They had a relationship with me and Josh. And they asked her to be a flower girl. And within the next year, Selah was a flower girl 3 times.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I've never told that part. I always just tell them about the first wedding because that happened so fast. But as I've even reflected on it now, I'm like, wait, she was a flower girl 3 times.
Abundance.
Yeah.
God answered her prayer in abundance.
Yeah, and so I just love that. I love how, what would you say to parents that, what's like a simple thing you say to them about how can just parents, you might be like, well, I wish I could have Miss Callie. Well, you don't have, you're not going to have her. But what can parents do to deposit just that thing of like, I can give them God and I can talk to my kids.
I think a big thing is, and a lot of times I think we as parents, like you say, we discount because we think, oh, they don't understand. But if you look back at the scripture says, add to your faith character, and add to your character understanding. And actually understanding comes third in the line. And the first thing is faith. And what we have placed in front of our kids most of the time, we place in front of it, well, you can't hear God, or you can't really walk with the Lord until you understand what you're doing. And then we tell them for the rest of their life, up into my age, we're all trying to get past our understanding. Yes, understand, but get past our understanding to walk in faith. Mm-hmm. When the kids are already there, they're already in the faith, they're already right there. And then we need to add the understanding. We need to add that to our faith. I think that's one of the key points. And another key point would be to play. Mm-hmm. Don't get so caught up in being so strict, I guess, and so rigid. And, just kids play. Mm-hmm. And I think the Lord gave them that. They can go into any nation, mm-hmm. and their language is play. Mm-hmm. They can be in any economic level, and they can play. And you can reach a kid to play. And my husband, he has this quote that he felt like the Lord gave him, was, if I enter into their world, they will readily enter into mine. Mm-hmm. And so I think the more we count what they're saying and what they're feeling and what they see the Lord doing, mm-hmm. and the more we play with them, then they will readily enter into heart. Wow. So I think that's my thought. I mean, I just think play is a key. Mm-hmm. That's why I pray that. Yeah. We play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Prayer games.
I love that. And I've never heard that before. Faith, character, and then understanding. And you're so right. We feel like we've got to have this down before we can do the others. But yeah, That's really good.
I think that's why God said that the little children,
Mm-hmm.
a child will lead them, and then if you enter into the kingdom, you must become as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're really going to enter the kingdom, we have to start with faith.
Yeah.
We have to start there. Then we get
Mm-hmm.
the character and the understanding. But if we reverse it, we just become religious.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And not in relationships.
That's good. That's so good. Well, let me ask you something else, because one thing I think that you and Randy have done great too with your kids is you've given them like what I'm going to call like a kingdom view, a very big world view of what God is doing in the earth. And that's hard sometimes for parents. What are some practical ways that you guys have done that?
Well, we had a little bit of an advantage because we do travel, and we travel quite a bit. But if it's possible for you to even go on a short-term mission, I know that Pursue provides family mission trips, and that's just an excellent way. Get your kids out. But even if you want to start even at your home, I remember my kids would start acting spoiled, or they would be upset because they didn't have an iPod and everybody else had an iPod or iPad or whatever was popular at the time. You know, they didn't have it or something like that. And I thought, we've got to go on a mission trip. We've got to do something. And sometimes the mission trip wouldn't be for another 6 months. So I'd pack them up and we'd go down under the bridge and play soccer with the kids that lived under the bridge. And not necessarily a big thing, but for my kids, it's a big thing. Was just start opening your eyes to what's around you. And worldwide, you know, if you can go someplace, like I said, you go someplace and they play, they connect with those kids there. And many of the places that we go to, the kids there may be one Christian in their whole school. Most of the kids that our kids play with in other nations are not Christians. And they can connect. And it's a great thing. Matter of fact, one little girl, as our kids, specifically our kids, had played with her soccer and different things. And we were leaving, it was the Czech Republic, and we were leaving the town of Kadaň. And she told the people we were working with, they said, oh, it's so sad to see them leave, because when they come, when we go there every year, that when they come, they bring, it's like joy comes to our city. And it was because of our kids. Wow. They just brought joy with play. And so I think just start with your kids, whatever you're doing, just start, let them experience, let them pray for people, let them lay hands on people, let them bring the food, let them give out the invitations or the tracts, you know. Right. Let them find something to do. And by the time our kids were 6, we had a requirement that all of our kids at 6 years old had to give a testimony in front of them. So
that's good.
So we just sat down, we taught them how to do it. And yeah.
Oh, that's good. You know what? I may make Selah do that.
She already can.
She can. Yeah, I know. I've already told her she's gonna be talking out of school in Africa, but maybe I'll have her do it. She can more than once. She can.
Matter of fact, Hayden told me the other day, I must be a preacher.
Oh, dear. She can do. Oh, that girl. She can do it for sure.
Yeah. I was like, I think we passed her already.
yeah, for sure. That's funny. Well, let me ask you something else, because I have watched you for the last year or two, like observing. Like, I mean, we're friends, but I've also just been observing you. And you're in the season of transition.
Yes.
Which the podcast is called The In Between, because I believe that we're all in certain areas of our life in between something, you know, and how do we live that transition in between time really well? So you're in transition right now with your kids. Yes, because you've been in this season of motherhood. Even as your kids were getting older, they were still in college and really depending on you. Your last one just graduated. Yes. Then you're in this season of transition with your job. You're transitioning. You're going to be working full-time with International. You're in a season of transition as you've just lost a parent. And that's a major transition. So what is God doing in that for you? Talk to us a little bit about transition.
Okay. Well, it's you know, when you're in the birthing process, the transitional time is the most painful. Yeah. If you have natural childbirth. Sorry if there's any men watching this. But, yeah,
it's that's okay. They probably witnessed it.
It is the truth. Just think of kidney stones. But that's the most painful time, but it's also the most joyful. And I realized that I had all 3 of my children natural. And during that time period, I learned to breathe. To breathe and be focused. And my husband, in the natural, he was a coach. And then also, in his job, he was a coach. And then also, whenever we were having our children, he coached me. You know, that was the term back then. And so he coached me, and he'd keep me on rhythm. He'd keep me on the breathing pattern. And so I think in this time of transition for me, I have had to learn to breathe with God as my coach. And just to breathe. It's like, okay. Like we were talking before the podcast, that just learning to go, what's the pace of God in my life? And being able to say no to something, and just breathe. And I think that is a key thing. And another thing that I'm learning, the Lord, I just feel like there are certain events in my life, like that my mom died just last week, and we just buried her yesterday. Paige was there at the funeral. And so I think my daughter graduating, my mother passing, changing jobs, and there's several other things that are going on in my life right now that the Lord told me, these are stones. And if you remember about Joshua, whenever he crossed over into the promised land, he had the presence of the Lord go before him, and then they just stopped in the middle. And as the tribes would cross over, they would gather a stone. And on the other side, they built an altar. And on the other side, in the promised land, they built the altar, and that's where they worshiped God. So I think for me, I feel like the Lord was just saying, you need to see these things in your life, these past things, as stones, and to take them over into the new promise that you have, and worship me on them. And to stand on those things, even the hard things, to stand on those things and go further. And so as right now, I feel like I'm in a stone gathering stage. I'm like, okay, this is one of those things. This is one of those character building times that the Lord is teaching me. So it sounds kind of super spiritual, but it's really not. It's very practical. It's just taking the events of our life and saying, okay, this makes me who I am for the next season in my life. And just transitioning over and really breathing.
That's good. Yeah. I think sometimes if we're not careful, I know in my life, sometimes I have a tendency to leave stuff when it is a time of transition, to leave that behind. Yes, and just, so I like that. Like, we honor it, we build upon it, because it's part of who I am. And so that's a really good visual picture even, I think.
We've had to move so many times in my life, and I have found myself when it starts when it starts being the time to move, a lot of times I just start cutting off relationships to actually protect myself. It's like I'm going on, I'm moving. So instead of saying, oh, these relationships, these key relationships, I may not be as close as I once was, but they're always going to be key in my life. And I can take that with me as a remembrance of the goodness of God in my life. So, not to stay there.
Right.
I don't want to stay there.
Right. So when it's the time to move, but you can still take parts of it with you and remember it. Yeah, that's really good. And I like what you're saying about breathing too, because I think in seasons of transition and in that in between, sometimes you need to give yourself the freedom to pull back a little bit. Like that time of transition and birth, like all the energy has to go on just focusing and getting through it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. This last month especially, I really found myself just having to do that, exactly that. It's like, I can't, if I could have superpowers, I don't know who this woman is. I think it's an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know who she is, but she's one of the superheroes, and she duplicates herself. Because I'm more extroverted than introverted, and if I could, I would do that. Yeah. And that
so you could be at all the parties.
Yes. It causes me stress sometimes because it's like, I want to be everywhere all the time, but in the moment of transition, in those time periods, you can't. You have to focus on what's right before you, what's happening right there. And a perfect example is one night we were having the worship time up here at Church on the Rock, and it was Pursue Worship, and everybody was there. They were recording, a big album and everything, and I wasn't there. And I was just like, I'm not there. And I wasn't there because my dad was in the hospital. He had some issues, and he was in the hospital, and he had taken some medication and was going crazy. And I'm sitting there, he's asleep then, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I just want to be at the Pursue Worship. And I'm looking at Facebook, and everybody's at Pursue Worship, but not me.
Yes.
And so I'm sitting there like, God, I'm not here. My dad's asleep anyway. Why am I here? And I'm just kind of griping to the Lord. And then it dawned, and then I felt like the Lord just quickened my heart, and was like, you can go ahead and go, but I'm not going to accept that selfish worship anyway. Okay, so sorry. But it's a time of focus, and it's okay to pull back and say, I don't have to be at everything at the same time. I don't have to do everything. I am focusing on the things that's going to be carried over into the next season.
Wow, that's so good. Let me ask you something else that I actually don't really know the answer to this. Not that I always ask questions. I don't know anything.
She's so smart.
I don't know any answers. But you took a Nazarite vow.
Yes.
You mentioned that you and your son-in-law were just talk to us about that. What was that about?
Well, it wasn't my idea. It was actually Boone, my son-in-law's idea. We were in McAllen. We were visiting them, and he said, I feel like the Lord's telling me to take a Nazarite vow. Lou Engle does that. And my response was, yeah, right. No way. I started, you're not going to be able to do it. And so I was in the shower, and I felt like the Lord said, you know what? That was bad. So I thought, oh, yeah, I'll call Boone. Well, then I felt convicted, and I felt like I just need to join him. And so what we decided to do, taking a vow with the Lord is very important. That's very, and so we decided that we would pick things in our lives that we have struggled with our whole life. And I've been walking with the Lord for 50 years, but there are key things in my life that I have, repented of every year, every New Year's resolution. Oh, okay, this is going to be different. And so I thought, okay, and that's what it was. It was the healthy thing. It was like, I'm going to eat right. I'm going to take care of my temple and not get inundated with all the activities around me and other people's activities as well. And so that was my main vow. And as a symbol of that, we let our hair grow. Boone's looks great. Mine, I'm thinking,
I like it.
Can't wait till June 1st. It's a little trim, And so we let our hair grow. And there were some other things that we decided we would do as a just kind of a concentration. It's, we should live this way anyway. We should live consecrated to the Lord anyway. But this is like a concentrated consecration, I guess you would say, if that makes any sense. But it's like we are trying to be very focused, kind of like we were talking about, but just be focused on one or two specific things that we need to overcome. So that's kind of what we've done.
That's great.
It's been fun.
And you feel like you've watched God minister to you in those areas and kind of give you
I have failed.
Really?
Yes, countless times. But this last 3 months, and things got even busier. But I felt this surge of grace. That hey, we're going to get over this. This is not going to be a habit in my life. I heard someone say the other day that it was Abraham Lincoln said this, but they quoted him, and they said that Abraham Lincoln said that commitment makes a promise reality. And for me, it was a commitment to perpetuate a habit in my life that I wouldn't break.
One thing I love about you is just even how you're like, oh no, I failed. But I think that's so good because I think we hear things like a Nazarite vow or a covenant, and it seems so big, scary, super, super spiritual people only. And even just hearing you say that, like, I failed, but I'm not quitting. Like we will fail, but don't quit, and God just continue to refine us.
I asked the Lord a long time ago, give me grace to be transparent, because I saw a lot of people in the ministry, specifically, and some of the people that we think they're giants for God, and I was able to come alongside them a couple of times as a normal person, and I would just think, wow, they have so much pressure to be this superhero. And I thought, if I can just be transparent, everybody's going to figure out, that really has to be God. And actually, I've had several people tell me that's my anointing. That, it's
be real.
Seriously, they have said, if God can use you, I'm so glad I met you guys, but if God can use you, he can use anybody. And I'm like, all right, good job. I'll take that as a compliment. It's true.
But it's true.
It's true. He can use anybody just to keep going.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. And I think hopefully, I feel like there's people right now, I'm hearing this of this call to be a little more vulnerable and a little more transparent and a little more real, you know? Because it's the people who feel like, I know I've lived this way for a little bit, this season of life where you feel like I do have to be perfect. I do have to perform. That gets old fast. It gets exhausting, and you will crash. You know? And so it takes some of that pressure off.
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But you have to battle in your mind when you don't, say you speak and then you go home. You have to battle in your mind. It doesn't matter if they lie to me. It matters. Was I vulnerable, and did I let Jesus shine through? Yeah. And if I can answer yes to those, then I've done good. But sometimes in my head, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I should have said this. And and so I battle that.
Well, I think that's even good words to end on. Not only when we're speaking, but like anytime, like, am I vulnerable, and did I let Jesus shine through me? You know, like then
we're good.
Then we're good.
We are good.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I go to the blog, and even after this, I'm going to give you Callie's blog. I want y'all to connect with her. I'm also going to put up information about Prepare International because she's transitioning and she's going to be working full time with Prepare International. I don't know if, like me, you've loved this. Like really, like terrific things you said. I feel like when you talk to someone a lot, you feel like you hear all their best material already. But you said like 3 or 4 things. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so good, so good. So I would encourage you guys to go read her blog, start following Prepare International, because what this lady's doing is so real and so good, and you guys are doing some things to really bring the kingdom of God into nations all over the place. So thanks for coming. Thanks for, you were vulnerable, and Jesus shined through. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So it was fun to talk to you today. Yeah. All right. Until next time, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you on the In-Between next week.
Wasn't that so great, you guys? I just loved that conversation. It's so fun when you do life with someone and you feel like you've talked to them about so many things, and then you sit down to talk. That's what happened with me and Callie today. And I literally was like, oh my goodness, that is so good. That is so good. That is so good. Hey, I'm so excited for Callie and this new season of her life as she moves to be fully on board with Prepare International. So I really would love you guys to go to our website, thein-between.com. Go to the blog, and you're going to see all of the links there to find out more about Callie. Go subscribe to her blog today because she just really writes some amazing truths that you're going to love, as well as go check out the ministry that she's working for, Prepare International. All right. Hey, hope you guys have a great week. And if you, like Callie, are in a season of transition, I pray that you are able to kind of take some time to pull back, focus in, and find your rhythm and rest. Okay, until next time, enjoy your in-between.